Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Football Insiders Transfer Daily, bringing you the latest transfer news in the ever busy transfer window. And of course, today is as busy as any other day in the transfer window. And I think there's only one place to start off. It is Saudi Arabia and the Saudi League. Now, of course, the Saudi League has been ever present in the early weeks of the transfer window, and it seems once again they are set to be the topic of conversation. Now, the reason they're going to be a topic of conversation this time is because Ruben Neves is close to completing a £47 million move to Al Hilal. However, that's not it. Why? Because Newcastle are also involved. Because if he does make the move to Saudi Arabia, there is a potential chance that Newcastle are ready to make a move to sign Ruben Neves on a 2-year loan. Now, of course, Newcastle are owned by the PIF, the Public Investment Fund, alongside Al Hilal. So that makes a deal very possible. So watch out for that one. Ruben Neves, still very young. He had offers from Saudi Arabia and it was so lucrative that you can almost say no to that. And that's exactly what Ruben Neves has done. So watch out for Newcastle in for Ruben Neves. Of course, I think early on the window, even early on in the season, Barcelona were a potential option for the Wolves midfielder. But again, Barcelona have had their own issues. They could not get Lionel Messi over the line. Of course, he was going to join Inter Miami. They're also in the hunt for Ilkay Gundogan. So trying to get Ruben Neves was too difficult of a task for the La Liga side. Now, of course, we know Liverpool and Arsenal have previously shown an interest in the Wolves midfielder, but a deal has never managed to materialize. So the Saudi League is the destination for Ruben Neves, but that might not mean just yet that we don't see him in the Premier League next season, because Newcastle are also registering an interest in the midfielder. Of course, we know Newcastle are hot on the trail for players in the middle of the park at the moment. It's not just Ruben Neves. We've seen reports from last week and this week that Nicola Barella is high on the Magpies list from Inter Milan, the Champions League finalist from last season, has been topic of discussion, but a deal has yet to progress for the midfielder, which could explain why Newcastle could look to opt to sign Ruben Neves instead. Of course, another player midfielder is James Maddison for the Magpies, and another midfielder who could be a crucial deal. Of course, Newcastle have to beat Tottenham to his signature, so that is yet to be decided. But we do know that Newcastle do have the advantage. Main reason for that is because they are in the Champions League, which Tottenham cannot offer after they finish outside of all European qualification spots. So Newcastle do have the lead in that. So with James Maddison coming through the door, that's just not stop a deal for Ruben Neves, seeing as though they are different types of midfielders. Ruben Neves likes to play from deep, whereas Maddison is more of a number 10. So that will be interesting to see if Ruben Neves does come through the door. Of course, no complaints about Ruben Neves. He is a highly experienced midfielder. He's played in the Premier League now for more than 3 seasons. So he does have the experience, and he's still under the age of 27, meaning that it's still time for him to grow and his legs are not done anytime soon. So if Newcastle can get a loan move for him, it would almost be the perfect deal. He can fit in alongside Bruno Guimaraes, with Joe Willock or Joelinton or even James Maddison if he comes through the door. So a transfer for Ruben Neves absolutely makes sense, and it will be interesting to see if that deal does happen. But watch out for it, as it is a deal that, frankly, I'd say it does make sense. So that we shall see there. But again, Newcastle, the only active Premier League club in the transfer window in the early weeks, as I think the main club that has been very active is Arsenal, especially with their incomers. Now, of course, we know, we reported yesterday, Fraser said yesterday on the Transfer Daily Football Insider show that Arsenal is set to splash £200 million on 4 signings. And once again, there is a boost in this potential major splash happening, as reports from Netherlands have said that Jurriën Timber wants Arsenal. He wants to join Arsenal, and he will wait to join Arsenal as well, which is a major boost for the Gunners, as we do know they have some mid and early interest. But we shall see if a deal comes through the line, as Ajax are not always easy to negotiate with, especially for the Gunners. But again, Arsenal are in desperate need of a defender. We do know, we saw last season from when Saliba got injured, Rob Holding and Keogh came in, but it wasn't at the same quality. Even Zinchenko as well got injured. And we do know that Timber can also cover at left back, which is perfect because Zinchenko did have a lot of injury issues just last season, and Kieran Tierney came in but could not offer that strength in depth in terms of being a left back and coming into the midfield to give Arsenal an extra body in the middle of the park, but Jurriën Timber does have the technical abilities and the technical quality to really play in the middle of the park as well as left back. So it could be the perfect signing for Arsenal, and they have been given a boost as reports are saying that he is desperate to join the Gunners under Mikel Arteta, who is building a very, very fine team. And to really shape that team, it also seems now that Arteta needs to offload players, and one of these players that could be offloaded is Eddie Nketiah. Now, I think that just confirms that Kai Havertz is close to coming to the club. We can give you a Football Insider. We can tell you that Havertz has already agreed personal terms. Now, it seems that to make sure Arsenal have space in the squad, Nketiah will need to be offloaded because, simply put, where would Nketiah play if Kai Havertz joins the club? We have Gabriel Jesus already as a striker. They also have Havertz as a second striker. So how will Nketiah be fitting in? And I think a deal needs to happen if Kai Havertz does come in, just simply because Nketiah can get more game time. Of course, he's on a big contract at the end of last season. He did sign a 4-year deal worth £100,000 per week. And if Arsenal can get that off their wage bill, then of course the 200 million splash makes even more sense. So watch out for that space as Nketiah could be out the door. Of course, already know Folarin Balogun confirmed after his first goal for the US men's national team in his first appearance that he does not want to be loaned out. So it's likely that he will be sold on a transfer because, again, similar to Nketiah, there's not really a pathway for Balogun as Nketiah, especially if Havertz comes through the door and still being so close. Arsenal have two strikers. I know there is Champions League football for the Gunners next season, but still, that is not enough game time to really propel your career. And with both players still so young, it makes sense for Arsenal to offload them to get as much funds as possible. And it makes sense on the player side to leave the club so they can get as much game time and increase their value as their careers go on. Now, just sticking with London, we're going to go to the other side of North London, the side that Arsenal don't like, and it is with Tottenham. But it has to do with Harry Kane. I think Harry Kane is the main topic of discussion for Spurs in the transfer window this summer. Will he stay or will he leave? Well, I can tell you what Harry Kane thinks. I think he does want to leave. According to reports, he is desperate to leave the Spurs. He is desperate. And one club's place he wants to go to is Manchester United. Now, we know Manchester United have had a long-standing interest in Harry Kane. A striker is the Red Devils' priority, and it's clear that Harry Kane would be the ideal player to come in and fill that position. Harry Kane is very close to completing the Premier League all-time goal-scoring record, and a move to Manchester United makes sense on a player side because if he goes to Manchester United, he is more than likely to complete this record, and he has a better chance of winning trophies, of course, with Manchester United in the Champions League this season. But again, we know how hard it is to deal with Levy, and as we saw 9 years, let's turn the clock back to 9 years ago in the 2013-2014 transfer window when Gareth Bale was topic of discussion, and he had to go to Real Madrid instead of Manchester United, despite high interest in him, of course. So it would be interesting to see how that does go. But again, will Harry Kane follow in the footsteps of join Gareth Bale? Because Real Madrid are also said to be interested in Harry Kane. And with Karim Benzema going to Saudi Arabia, that is also another destination for Harry Kane. It's not just Real Madrid, also because reports are also saying that Paris Saint-Germain in France do want to sign Harry Kane, and Bayern Munich in Germany are looking to fight for his signature. So there's many options for Daniel Levy and many options for Harry Kane. But it looks like Harry Kane wants to stay in England to fight for that record that he desperately wants, to become the all-time Premier League goal-scoring record, to take it from Alan Shearer, of course. But let's stick and stay in London because we're going to Chelsea now. Chelsea are almost having a mass exodus in this summer transfer window, and it seems players are all going to Saudi Arabia, and it is looking like it's going to continue. Seeing now, it's been all but confirmed that N'Golo Kante is going to join Benzema at his club Al Ittihad and play in Saudi Arabia after they announced the deal. Of course, following him is likely to be Hakim Ziyech. Not just Hakim Ziyech though, as Edouard Mendy is also close to completing a move to the Saudi League. A mass exodus, and of course, Hudson-Odoi is reported to be of interest, so that could be another player following the trend. And another player that should have been following the trend was Christian Pulisic. However, he has ruled a move out to Saudi Arabia. He will not be joining as he wants to stay in Europe, and it has been reported that clubs such as Juventus are interested in the exciting winger. So keep your eye on Christian Pulisic as he has snubbed a move to Saudi Arabia, despite many of his teammates not doing the same. Now, guys, that is the end of the video. All your transfer daily news for today. But don't fear not, because we will be back tomorrow for more fresh transfer news, of course. Watch us throughout the week. And as the transfer window goes on and ramps up, as we get closer towards deadline day, We'll also bring you shows on the weekend potentially. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. This has been Bailey, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you very much.